Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Jacquelene Close-Moore and you're on A1R Social Radio and Moonstruck TV. I'm coming to you live from Melbourne's CBD and Mike Collins Street office. Haven't quite seen clients in here face-to-face yet, but I'm looking at it. I've been doing video and phone calls since March. I haven't sort of opened it back up to face-to-face because in Melbourne we've had the most amazing lockdowns. We've also got our blessed be under his eye face mask. So that's been really interesting. And my hair dye has been coming out online, sort of, a bit of a hazard really when you want to go red and you aren't naturally this fluorescent. So yeah, I'm doing that, but also today I want to talk about emotional intelligence. I will also later be going over onto Facebook on my Jacquelene Close-Moore live Facebook page to do live readings and discussion as well. But today on the show on A1R, I want to talk about emotional intelligence. Now, what on earth has that got to do with being a psychic and empath? Well, quite a lot. One of the things that psychics can, when they're developing, have trouble with is working out whose feelings are whose. And particularly if you're an empath, the feelings get all over you, a bit like, atomized hair colour spray. Going everywhere. So they're sort of like, get the purple from here and the green from there and where the blue and yellow. I don't know. What is this haze around me? So you could look around the white T-shirt on the psychic level, and if we can sort of imagine psychic hair colour spray, and there you go. It's like the next thing we've got a rainbow shirt that you didn't intend. To sort that out, wheat from chaff, is emotional intelligence. So you can actually Google that term. People go, what's emotional intelligence? Well, to Google is your friend, unless you've actually got a medical condition, in which case talk to your doctor. Although sometimes I talk to my doctor about Google and help each other, but that's another story. Let's not get into that debate. That would be endless. So basically, why it's important to psychics is who's feeling my feeling? Am I feeling my own or someone else's? So the thing you can do when you're trying to work out where the feeling's coming from is this a feeling coming to me from outside? Yeah. Or is this a feeling coming through me? Right? So that's like maybe I'm channeling something. Like maybe Aunt Mavis dropped in and like lilac. Lilac, feelings of grief. Like where did that come from? Well, it's only Mavis. She popped in. She's a bit like that. She's a little bit melancholy, but sweet natured. I don't have an Aunt Mavis, but just imagining Aunt Mavis for a minute. So that's a feeling coming through us, yeah. Or is the feeling coming from me? So there is something in me that maybe I'm not dealing with, and maybe it's coming into conscious, and I have to kind of deal with that. Sometimes if people are having very strong emotional reactions, and they're, you're like this. And you're like that, and they're saying this to you. And sometimes I think the good question to ask yourself is, who are they trying to convince of this, me or themselves? So it's a really good question to ask yourself sometimes. Sometimes you sort of need to go, yeah, I probably didn't help that situation. Boundaries are really important to psychics and empaths, and often there's a sense of boundarylessness, because you're picking up on feelings of going into that emotional space of someone else and going, oh, feeling that. So like, that space. So the thing is about sometimes sort of going, all right, well, I felt that energy. I'm just going to go back into my space, clear that energy. So we'll do a meditation in a minute on how to do that. But being able to deal with criticism, when we look at psychics, quite often there's obviously a sensitivity there. Yeah, we're sensitive. We feel a lot. So we can be sensitive even to criticism or self-criticism. I mean, if you want to find out about people kicking their own backside, it's going to quite often be empaths. So the 4 types of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So self-awareness, how do you feel in your, self-management, how do you regulate how you feel? And adjust the situations around you in a positive way that's actually helpful to you, as against maladjustment. That's a whole other story. Social awareness, how do you make others feel? And also how do they make you feel? And when we say make you feel, okay, well, you have a feeling, you're having an emotion, but how you're reacting to it is the important part, like how you respond to it. Relationship management is how we diffuse conflict, how we work with that sort of thing. And how we make other people feel special and important as well, not just ourselves, because, they're all special. So empathising is really important, adjusting behaviours, recognising how you're feeling and how to manage that is actually all about the emotional intelligence of things and how to kind of work with that. So if you're sort of sitting in life and going, well, make this decision or that decision, or how do I deal with this person that way or that way? The first thing to do in a meditative space is to actually sit there and go, all right, well, how am I feeling in myself? How is my body feeling? Are there areas of tension? So breathing, relaxing, and going into the parts of your body and seeing what sits there, and actually having a sheet of paper, writing that down. Actually have 3 separate sheets of paper. If you've got two, you've got to make a decision between 2 options. You have 3 sheets of paper. We'll call one neutral. We put that in the middle. That's how you're feeling. Then we have part A and part B. So part A might be, I'll go and visit Auntie Mavis. He said the guy's Auntie Mavis isn't actually dead. The other option B is I don't talk to Auntie Mavis ever again because she really is very melancholy and I can't stand her. And she's not a nice person. You said earlier Auntie Mavis is, but arguably. So first you sit in how you feel. And so if it's a sort of key part in life, like do I stay in this career or change it over to there, what you can do is actually sit in that energy, clear it, and then go, okay, mentally I'm going down that path A. And you connect your mind energetically to it. And you can actually imagine yourself visually walking down this path, down that option, walking down the timeline of years, months, years, weeks, days, down that path. How do I feel in my body? So if your body's going, really tensing up, you know that it's been kind of working for you. Because quite often we talk about the body being the barometer of the soul, and the emotions are also part of that. So how are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling physically? Do you feel more calm? Or if you don't feel calm, do you still feel an absolute, this is actually very important, not on an ego level, but feels morally correct, feels important. Okay, well, sometimes the most difficult part can still be, it's not always about tough, least resistance. Sometimes it's actually, you have to take tough stuff in life, yeah? So if we go down that path and we're still feeling the conviction towards it, okay, great. Now walk back down the path back to where you are. Write down the notes of what path A was about for you. How does that feel? Write it all down, everything you felt, and then go back into your body, how you feel in your body, how you feel mentally, emotionally, back to neutral. You're clearing yourself. You're saying, no, I've actually chosen to go down part A. I did it as an exercise. I'm now back in my own space. Then what you do is thoroughly commit your mind and energy to, if I go down path B, yeah? And so you're sitting there going down days, weeks, months, years, decades, going down there, and you see how that feels. And if it's like, wow, this is exactly what I needed, I'm feeling that physically, emotionally, mentally, here we go. And then you come back and you write that down. So then you can actually run and once again come back to neutral. Always, whenever you do something on a visual level or a imagineering level, always come back to neutral, come back to who you are before you finish. So, and before you do all of that, it's really handy to draw a circle of light or create a sacred space, light a candle, set the intention, basically. But, you can just do this exercise that way as well. So then what you can do is actually look at your 3 sheets of paper. So the pros and cons, what it all does, how it felt. So that can actually help you make a choice. So when I was sort of looking at emotional intelligence today, I've actually got out the Goddess Oracle. So that's this one. The full one, like I said, how to go. I can't remember it. Wow. So the first one I had was, just jumped out of the deck, of course, was Lady of Beasts, which is all about relationships. And when we look about relationships, before you can have a relationship safely and functionally with someone else, you have to have a good relationship with yourself. Quite often people jump from relationship to relationship to relationship without actually taking stock and going, not just they bad, me good, but what did I learn? So it's really important to do that. And so then when I actually did a spread, I came up with 5 cards. So we had this one, which is all about grief. That's actually an Aztec goddess. It's about releasing grief and going into that space. So it's really important sometimes to grieve for things that haven't gone well in your life or that have made you very sad or made you reflect on uncomfortable feelings. And, the thing about light work, it's not about just loving light, and it's hard. It's actually about owning your shadow as well. You can't really have your light without the shadow. And some people go, I've gone beyond duality. And I go, congratulations. So that was the start of the deck. The middle card was the Ebenezer, which is the theories. Sort of look at Yeah, chicken women. Yeah. So this is about crisis. So how do we deal with crisis? Well, with emotional intelligence. So card before that on the left side, nerve, which is about belief. So taking on more knowledge helps you. So part of emotional intelligence is about being able to change your ideas and your feelings about an issue once you have new information. And once you learn and develop, and seeking to learn, develop and grow more. And that leads you to more self-empowerment. So we have Lilith there. And of course, she's been much maligned and misunderstood through history. She was actually Adam's first wife, by the way. Long story. I'll have to do that one day. And the last card, so where all of this work leads you to, once you start to have that relationship with yourself, is greater understanding of how to read people accurately, but also greater understanding to read yourself. The last card took us to Tara, which is centering. To think about, I'll be over on my Facebook page doing live readings and discussion of questions, anything you want to ask, even just about your own development. I'll be over there on Facebook. In the meantime, more shows on A1R and Moonstruck TV for the evening. It's been lovely connecting with you. Catch you next week.